Welcome to the Manville Entertainment premises. Welcome to the podcasting wing. Welcome to Let's Talk, a show here on the Authority Videocast YouTube channel. And welcome those of you who have never joined us. This is indeed our first ever 5 o'clock showing. So, get this. When you're so underrated that a Google search of your name brings up a 63-year-old actress. Now, this former center fielder from Los Angeles, California, is also 63 years old. However, his high school coach scoffed at the idea of him even playing in college. Considered walking on to Arizona State before playing 3 years at NAIA Southeastern Oklahoma State. The Savages. Wolf. Okay. And I'm wearing an Indian shirt right now, but the Savages, woof. Anyway, two-time NAIA All-American with a career batting average of .394 in college. He was a 23rd round pick of the Atlanta Braves in 1979 and quickly helped the Braves to the NL West title in his first full season in 1982 after years of losing in Atlanta. This was actually their first division crown since 1969. And winning division crowns were a lot tougher back then because there was only two divisions in each league. So that was a real achievement for the Atlanta Braves and for this player. He bat .281 with a major league leading 13 triples in 1983. So in just his second season, he led the majors with 13 triples and was eventually traded as part of a package to the Indians for Len Barker, who had just thrown a perfect game. In 1984, his first with the Tribe, he hit .269 with 25 doubles, 9 triples, 52 stolen bases, 108 runs, and struck out just 62 times while walking 86 times. Age 28 in 1985, he broke out for 184 hits with 28 doubles and 14 triples, driving in 50 runs while stealing 47 bases and batting .311. He walked 63 times while striking out just 42. Now, don't get me wrong, he wasn't perfect. His numbers dipped a little bit across the board, actually, in 1986. But he again had, even in a down year for him, had an incredible 14 triples, driving in 50 runs while stealing 47. He again had a remarkable 14 triples, which made him the MLB triples king for the second time in his career. So, like I said, I started to read his 1985 numbers again. But in 86, although his numbers dropped, he still hit 14 triples, which the year before didn't lead the league or even lead the majors. But he led all of the major leagues in triples in 1986 for the second time in his career when he belted 14 triples. In 1987, his last year in Cleveland, his production was similar to 1986, the year before, but he had a much more efficient season than the year prior. So he hadn't quite reached his breakout from 1985, but in 1986, although his production was similar, he was much more efficient, proven by 17 points added to his batting average in the 91 walks he drew compared to just 55 strikeouts. He finished 1987 with a superb .399 on base percentage. So when you're getting on base basically 40% of the time, that's really good. He signed as a free agent with the San Francisco Giants for the 1988 season, returning to the league he first established his name. In 4 seasons as an Indian, in 4 seasons as an Indian, he hit 45 triples, stole 164 bases, scored 397 runs, and walked 310 times while striking out just 224 times. He had a .288 batting average and a .373 on base percentage as a Cleveland Indian. So, pretty dang good, right? So then he returns to the NL, and while never an all-star, he did become an NL MVP candidate each of the next 3 seasons with the Giants after his seasoning in the junior circuit, which is what we like to call the American League. He was 17th, and 24 in his 3 seasons in MVP voting for the San Francisco Giants. 1988 and 1990 were particularly good for him, showcasing his great walk-to-strikeout ratio, batting a combined .298 for those seasons, and stealing an average of 47 bases. I mean, This guy was really, 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 really good, you guys. 1990 especially, as he hit 309 with a 397 on base while leading the National League with 192 hits. He also stole 51 bases and had 9 triples. I mean, if it isn't apparent already, this guy was a triples machine. He got on base, and now he steals bases too. Excuse me, not to sleep on his 1989. He did help the San Francisco Giants to a World Series appearance from the leadoff spot before both an earthquake and the Athletics wiped the Giants off the face of the earth. So again, after a particularly good 1990, he signed with the LA Dodgers for the 1991 season. And this is what you could consider his magnum opus, as he led the NL in games, runs, and walks while making his lone All-Star appearance of his career. He finished 7th in NL MVP voting and sported a career-high 401 on-base percentage. Despite his prowess as a dominant hitter, he would lead the major league in sacrifice hits the very next season. Imagine that. A guy who led the league in runs, a guy who led the league in walks. I mean, this guy is a great player. He's an incredibly efficient player. All he does is get on base. He was 7th in MVP voting. And the very next year, he sacrificed himself getting on base more than any other player in the major leagues. I mean, if he was underrated, can we maybe put some of that blame on him? I mean, why if you're a star player, all of a sudden are you leading the league in sacrifice hits? Because you know what? He was a team player. That's who he was. He did what was asked of him. So despite his prowess as a dominant player, like I said, he led the league in sacrifice hits the very next season, further casting a shadow over him as a star player, in my opinion. I mean, what kind of star player usually a star player, they have to have a big ego. What kind of star player with an ego like that is also that type of teammate on the field? You just don't see it. So while his production speaks for itself, also the way he played sort of put him under the radar, I believe. Now, he received more MVP votes in both 92 and 94, well into his mid to late 30s. He led the NL in triples at both 94 and 95 with 9 at ages 37 and 38 years old. He played until he was 40. He got cancer and still played another season plus, despite everyone thinking he would never play again. He was a career 290 hitter with 2,375 career hits. He averaged a 294 batting average, a 382 on base percentage with 20 doubles, 10 triples, and 39 stolen bases from 1983 to 1995. So for more than 12 years, this guy got you 20 doubles, 10 triples, and 39 stolen bases every year. And he also batted nearly 300 and got on base almost 385. I mean, he led the NL in singles for 4 consecutive seasons from 1990 to 1993. He was doubted by his high school coach, doubted by MLB scouts and executive, doubted by those who thought he wouldn't come back from cancer, was an all-star just once despite being MVP caliber for at least a 7-year period, and he was all-star caliber before that, and he made 1 all-star. Google forgot about this guy, for God's sakes. You can't even Google him without someone else coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Brett Butler. Brett Butler, simply put, he is in a case because when I looked at the back of this guy's baseball card, I thought something was wrong. I thought it was a misprint. I said, no. This Brett Butler that perennially leads the majors in triples, and he's just a hit. All he does is hit. All he does is score runs. Oh, look at that. He draws a great amount of walks. He barely strikes out. I mean, his walk to strikeout ratio is great. I mean, even up to this point in 1988, he was a career 281 hitter. No, this is a misprint, right? It's not a misprint. I don't know what it is, how this happened, but Brett Butler has just been forgotten about. Like I said, even by Google, this guy's been forgotten about. So if there's one thing, and by the way, if the Southeastern Oklahoma State Savages haven't changed their name by now, for the love of God, please do so. But yeah, that was the point in today's episode, to show you guys someone I had never even heard of, and so I'm guessing you probably haven't either. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want to do. Looks like the 5 p.m. Broadcast brought back the translucent me. So happy to reintroduce myself, the translucent me. But yeah, I love you guys very much. Thank you for joining me today. We'll catch you on Monday. Maybe a bonus clip over the weekend. You never know, but definitely be looking out for me on 5 p.m. on Monday. I will see you guys then. Love you so much.